displayed greed, and the general context of this passage exposes both greed and need.
Yes.
That while one is greedy, someone else is needy.
Yeah.
And this man, having an abundant harvest at a time that he could have been thoughtful, at a time that he could have shown his concern for the poor, at the time that he could have even gifted some of this excess harvest to others, he decided, rather than share what I've been blessed with,
Yes.
I'm going to build larger barns.
That's right.
So that I can have a place for all of it.
Yes.
Not to give it away, but to keep it for myself.
Amen.
Oh yeah, he had no desire to share or even to sell some of his goods. And the parable ends by letting us know that this man died before even he could enjoy his possessions.
Mm.
It's a bad thing when one is locked in greed, when
That's right.
one is locked in selfishness, when one takes on the pattern of this world in which we see so many examples of greed and need today. So many examples of those that are running companies that bring billions of dollars in,
Yes.
but they're underpaying employees. Y'all
That's
don't
right.
hear me today.
Oh, hallelujah.
So many examples
Hallelujah.
of greed and need in our world that lets us know that not everyone has the right mindset. Not everyone has a desire to see somebody else happy and blessed.
Yes, yes.
Not everyone has the desire to spread the wealth around.
Yes.
And our world is becoming even entrenched in the haves and the have-nots.
That's right.
Those who have and are enjoying an abundant life, and those who have not, who are seeking each and every day just to make it through the day. Oh yeah, greed and need. And so Jesus exposes these things through the story of the rich man.
That's
But he has good words for his own disciples when he tells them, do not worry about your need for provisions and clothing, because the Father knows that you need these things.
That's right.
There ought to be some assurance within us that no matter what life looks like at the moment, that somehow God's got you, that somehow God is working on your behalf, that somehow God is seeing to it that whatever is needed in your life will be provided. Oh yeah, that you've got to understand that we belong to God, and that God knows what you're going through.
Yes,
He knows
does. Hallelujah.
what you're suffering. He knows your particular situation. And I know sometimes others cannot totally feel what you feel because they're not you and they're not exposed to what you are going on. But Jesus have going on. But what Jesus is saying to us is that, yes, greed and need thrives in this world,
Yes.
but your Father knows what you need.
Hallelujah.
And your Father is ready and willing to assist you in every possible way. Oh yeah, I believe that as I comb through this passage and even through the scriptures that I read to you today, for all these things, what things? The things like food and clothing and water to drink are basic needs that all of us on some level have today.
Yes.
But these things that you need are focused on, and these are the things that some folk spend all of their life trying to gather for themselves. They are just bent on the drive to have more. Sometimes they're bent on the drive to do better than other folks. Sometimes you might see a neighbor who comes in with a new car and parks it in their driveway. And some folk get agitated and decide, well, I'm going to get a new car that's better than theirs.
All right.
They are locked in to rivalries, locked in to competition, locked in to outdoing somebody else.
Yes.
But something that just just really jumps out of this passage is number one, is that we are to trust God more than worldly goods.
That's right.
We have to trust God. We must comply with Him and understand that my trust is valid in the Lord and that He will not disappoint. He will not let you down. And so Jesus saying to His disciples, don't worry. Instead, trust that your Father knows what you need. Trust that your Father is able to provide.
Hallelujah.
Trust that God is great and so awesome that He can even move your enemy to be a blessing to you. Oh yeah, trust God that He's able, that even when you've been locked out, even when it seems like there's no way forward, trust God because He is able to do more than you can even ask or even think. The second thing that jumps out of this passage to me is that you need to know that God actively cares for His children.
Yes. Hallelujah.
He actively participates in your life. He actively protects you. He actively provides for you. He shows up in your life at the right time to lend you a helping hand. Sometimes we are believers and we know that God is real, but sometimes it's almost we imagine that God has gone off somewhere.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes we even feel like, I pray and I don't even know if God heard me. I don't even know if God cares. But Jesus said, this is one thing you need to know is that God actively cares for His children. He says that even when you see how the bird of the air is taken care of, He has a place to land, He has a place to eat, that if God takes care of the sparrow, you ought to know that He watches over you. He is blessing others that you see around and it seems like your blessing is delayed. Don't give up hope because God cares for you. He cares enough to be there. He cares enough to support you. He cares enough to give you what it takes to keep on keeping on. Another thing that jumps out of this passage is seek God's kingdom with all that you have. Seek God's rule.
Yes.
Seek God's guidance. Seek God in every way. Surrender to Him, knowing that God has a rule that trumps, that supersedes any other rule. God has a way of commanding and ordering your step to bring you to the right place at the right time. That God has a rule, oh good God Almighty, that nobody can sabotage the plans that God has for you. God is on the throne. Oh yes, He is high, He is lifted up, He has all power in His hand. Never shortchange God. Never think that you've been left by yourself. God knows where you are. And if you just seek God's kingdom, that's what Jesus said. If you'll seek God's kingdom, if you'll seek the kingdom of God, everything that you need will be added. What are you saying, Lord? Just get your focus right. Get your priorities right. Get your mindset right. Seek God's kingdom above all other things. Seek God's kingdom, and whatever it is that must happen in your life, that it will come together. I've learned over the years that things just have a way of working out. I've learned over the years the things that I used to have a tendency to stress about and worry about after I did all that stressing, after I did all that worrying, after I did all that popping pills. At the end of the day, it worked out just like it needed to work out. That's because God cares for you. He knows how to bring you through your situation. He knows how to lift you up at the right time. He knows how to put you in position so that you can receive what He has for you. So Jesus said, don't worry, but but seek his kingdom. Don't worry about things, but seek the Lord's kingdom. Because when you get your priorities right, when you get your focus straight, when you trust God with everything within you, things just have a way of coming together. Oh yes, even as the writer says that you're blessed in your going out. You're blessed in your coming in. Oh yeah, you're blessed even when you're not thinking about blessing. You're blessed even when there's a hard road for you to travel. You're blessed when you wake up and you don't know how it's going to happen. You're blessed as you go through your day and all kind of things are stacking up against you. You're blessed as you lay down at night, oh God, with the certainty that you may not have achieved today what you had planned, but you're blessed anyhow. Can I get a witness? Seek God's kingdom and live so as to honor God's rule. I'm hurrying up today. And another thing that jumps out at me is it's the Father's pleasure or his desire that you receive what you need. It's the Father's pleasure. God takes pleasure. He's delighted when his children have what they need. He takes pleasure in you receiving from him. Oh yes, that which you need. It makes God smile, so to speak. It makes God happy, so to speak, when he's able to deliver you from your crisis. He takes pleasure. It is the Father's pleasure for you to receive what you need. Sometimes you have to remind yourself, oh yeah, that God is pleased to help me. Oh yeah, you ought to remind yourself that when you can't see your way, that God is taking pleasure in the deliverance. God is taking pleasure in bringing you out. Even in the time that Israel was in slavery in Egypt, Moses goes to Pharaoh numerous times saying, God said, let my people go. And I heard the Lord say to Moses, it doesn't matter how many times that man says no, I'm going to bring my people out. Oh, good God Almighty, God took pleasure in turning the Nile River to blood. God took pleasure, oh God, in allowing the frogs to come up on the earth to make it uncomfortable to live. God took pleasure, oh God, in all the plagues because it was a path to victory. Sometimes you have to go through something, but God is pleased to bring you through. Y'all hear me today? God is pleased to work it out for you. God is pleased to put the right people around you. God is pleased to open the door at the right time. God is pleased to work it out on your behalf. Can't you just imagine, even on some of your worst days, that God is still smiling because he knows it's just a matter of time before you get delivered. Y'all don't hear that? Oh yeah, he's smiling. Oh God, when some are worrying, he's smiling when some are disappointed. He's smiling when somebody can't see their way because God already has a plan by which you will come out all right. Can I get a witness here? Is there somebody that has experienced the Lord's help when you didn't even expect it to come that way? Is there anybody that can say, I know the Lord will make a way? Is there anybody that will tell somebody, oh yes, that I've never had times that I was down to my last dime, but the Lord stepped in right on time. I can't know in this here. Is there anybody that know what it's like for the doctor to say, I have bad news for you, and you're going to have to work through this and work through that? But can I get a witness that the Lord is the healer of your body, that the Lord will work a miracle in your life? So Jesus Jesus said, don't worry, but seek the kingdom. Don't worry, because it's the Father's pleasure that you have what you need. But look at here. It's the Father's pleasure to give you the kingdom. And that's where I'm going to close it today. And it's the Father's pleasure. Jesus says, fear not, our little flock. It's the Father's pleasure to give you the kingdom. When I drill down on that, fear not. Don't be afraid. Don't let stuff get next to you. Don't let stuff drag you down. Don't fear. Don't be afraid, because I got good news that the Lord is on your side. I got good news that He's able to pick you up and turn you around. I got good news. Don't fear. Oh, good God Almighty, the Lord is doing too much for you.